So good morning everyone. My name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. आप I hope आप लोग की hold on. Okay. So good morning everyone. My name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS and I hope your preparation is going well. I'm sorry for the delay because there was some kind of power outage because of which this live got delayed. But again we are here and we will discuss our Indian Express newspaper today. So we will discuss 4-5 articles. I will not waste your much time today. So let's start with the immunity shield to the governor. Then there will be a CBI not under center's control. We will see how CBI came into picture and whose control it has, or otherwise we will see what is the statutory authority under which CBI is working. Okay, and what is the you can say modus operandi when we are talking about the CBI. Then Mpox. There is this you must have heard about monkeypox. Okay, so there is this another version of that monkeypox, that is Mpox. We will talk about that. And recently there has been an outbreak in Congo. Okay, so we will see. And since there is a outbreak and this country is in news, so for that matter it becomes important for you to go through the map and the nearby area of Congo. Okay, and there is this important river, that is Congo river, so you should know about that as well. Okay, anyway, so this is your front page. Here there is this news which is related to your governor, that is Raj Bhavan staffer alleged that he called her to office and touched her. Basically, Bengal governor accused of sexual harassment, and he says these are false narratives, or you can say just false accusations. We will not go into the news. We will go into the what are the constitutional, you can say, provisions when something like this happens, when there is a criminal charge which is pressed against, or you can say criminal complaint which is pressed against your governor or president. What are the provisions which are given in the constitution? We will talk about that. Okay, so we will discuss this article. Other than that, these articles are political in nature. We will not go into details of that. So let's start. Before that, we will see the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. Okay, so which authority is responsible for conducting audits and investigation related to GST compliance? Now they are talking about a tax. So one thing is clear, that some authority which has something to do with the tax will be responsible for that. Okay, now Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Now this is about business, corporate companies, etc. So hold on for a second. We will not go considering this as an option. Then Central Board of Indirect Taxes and the Customs. Now we know that GST is an indirect tax, so there are high chances that this can be your answer. Then Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is related to your stock market or money market, so we will not go consider this. Okay, so this is incorrect. Then Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Now ministries don't go for direct audits. There are certain departments or certain bodies which are there for the audits, so that is also incorrect. Now this is also incorrect. B would be your right answer because that is the direct and obvious answer, because Central Board of Indirect Taxes is there. Obviously this is a body which is dealing with the tax in indirect taxes, and GST is one kind of indirect tax. Okay, so I hope this is clear. B would be your right answer. Now we can move further. We'll start with this article which is saying that Bengal governor accused of sexual harassment, and he says these are false narratives or false you can say allegations which has been put on him. Okay, we will not go into what are the allegations and all. We will see that what is about the immunity. You know that if you have gone through the static of your polity, you must have heard that certain positions like president, governor, they have immunity against any kind of criminal charges which are put against them. Okay, so that is one thing. They are having immunity under Article 361. Okay, so we will talk about that article. We will talk about this particular, you can say this particular article here over here. We will see what Supreme Court has said in the previous cases. So let's see. Even as a complaint alleging sexual harassment has been filed in Kolkata against West Bengal Governor C.V. Anand Bose, constitutional immunity bars the police from naming the governor as an accused or even investigate the case. Okay, now Article 361 is the which gives the immunity against the criminal complaints, etc., which says that police cannot arrest him unless he is in the office. Okay, for the period of time he is in the office, you cannot go for any kind of investigation, any kind of arrest, etc. Okay, so that is the immunity which has been given to governor. We will talk about that in detail. Article 361 of the Constitution deal with the immunity of the president and the governors. Okay, it states that they shall not be answerable to any court in the exercise and performance of the powers and duties of his office, or any act done or purporting to be done by him in the exercise and the performance of all those powers and duties. Now basically here they are saying that when he is performing, he is in the office, he is performing certain actions, he will not be responsible to answer all these things in the court. Okay, so obviously if there is a, you can say, crime which has happened, or you can say there is an allegation of crime which has been put against that person, okay, he is not answerable in the court, because court will be the one who will scrutinize, but he is not answerable in the court. Okay, but again one catch is there, that is in the performance of those powers and duties. Okay, now there are various interpretation of this particular word. When we are talking about the seats, like you can say, or the offices like president, governor, these are basically, you know, office of trust. These are basically the offices which are having a high prestigious, you can say, position. Okay, so that is why this particular immunity has been given. Now coming to the next part here, this provision also says that there are two subsections in the provision. Okay, so one is that no criminal proceeding whatsoever shall be initiated or continued against the president or the governor of the state in any court during his term of office. Okay, now they are saying that no criminal proceeding whatsoever, whatever kind of proceeding which is criminal in nature, cannot be proceeded against them, or you can say cannot be initiated. Okay, if there is already a complaint and then person is appointed as a governor, then that will put on hold. You will not be able to investigate that or initiate a new one. Okay, so that is clear, that whatever kind of criminal complaint is there, that cannot be continued. Okay, so that is the first subsection. Now second is, no process for the arrest or imprisonment of the president or the governor of the state shall issue from any court during this term of office. Now court cannot order the arrest or imprisonment of such person in the office. Now it is clear that they are having a proper immunity with respect to the criminal offences. Okay, again I am telling you, this is about the criminal offences, not about the civil offences, because in the civil offences there can be a complaint which can be investigated, you can say, after a notice of 2 months. Okay, so for a period of 2 months you will be given a notice, and afterwards such civil complaints will be initiated. Okay, but again right now question is about your criminal offences, and criminal offences, article 361 is clear that whatever kind of criminal offence is there, you cannot go for initiating any kind of inquiry against them, investigation against them. There cannot be any kind of arrest, even court cannot order such arrest. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now coming to the next part. Here the constitution contemplates a complete bar against prosecution of the governor. Okay, there is a complete bar against the prosecution of the governor. He cannot be named and accused. The police can act only after the governor ceases to be in the office, which is when either the governor resigns or no longer enjoy the confidence of the president. Now when we are talking about this particular paragraph here, they are saying that until unless he is in the office, you cannot do anything. Police can proceed with the complaint only if he is out of the office, like he has resigned, either he has resigned, or second thing is if he has lost the confidence of the president. You know that governor serves as per the pleasure of the president. Okay, now if president lost the confidence of the pleasure, in that case he has to resign or be terminated. Now that is the thing. Okay, or he can be removed by the president. That is the place he can be, you can say, prosecuted for that particular act. Okay, there has been some incidents in the past where such certain governor has been accused of such things. They have resigned from their position so that there can be a free and fair investigation. Okay, so that is the case. Let's see, there was this particular case, Rameshwar Prasad versus Union of India. This case is related to article 361, wherein this immunity power has been discussed. We will see. Rameshwar Prasad versus Union of India outlined the immunity enjoyed by the governor even on the allegation of the personal malafide. Okay, now they are saying that even in the case of personal malafide, if there is something which he has done in his personal sphere and not in the performance of the duties, as I told you, there is a catch, that is performance of his powers and duties. Okay, but again the subsection 1 says whatsoever, any criminal act whatsoever. Okay, but here Supreme Court has taken a clear you can say interpretation. They have said that even on the allegation of personal malafide, he will not be prosecuted. Okay, now Supreme Court held that the position in law is that governor enjoys complete immunity. Okay, governor is not answerable to any court for the exercise and the performance of the power and the duties of his office or any act done or perpetuating to be done by him in the exercise of the performance of those powers and duties. Okay, So in this context, they have taken this interpretation that even in the case of personal malafide, he is not responsible to answer in the court. Okay. Now here you can see criminal actions was halted till a governor completes his term of office. Either he completes the term of office, he lost the, you can say, confidence of the president, or he has resigned from the office. Once he ceased to hold the office, now there can be an investigation which can be started by the police officers. Okay. Now in 2017 there was this case when you know that in 1992 there was this Babri demolition case. In that particular case there were few accused like LK Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Uma Bharti, etc. Okay. In 2017 this case was reopened, and then you can say that it was supposed to be against these particular people. At that point of time also trial could not start because one of the person, that was, you can say, trial did not take place, former UP Chief Minister Kalyan Singh. Okay, at that point of time Kalyan Singh was the, you can say, UP's Chief Minister, and he was serving as a governor of Rajasthan. Now he is a governor and he is immune by all these you can say proceedings. So that is why this trial could not start. On the other hand, here you can say Mr. Kalyan Singh, being the governor of Rajasthan, is entitled to the immunity under Article 361 of the Constitution as long as he remains the governor of Rajasthan. The Court of Session will frame charges and move against him as soon as he ceased to be a governor. Okay, so that is what happened in 2017. Other than that, in 2017 there was this Meghalaya governor. He resigned after the allegation of sexual harassment. There was this allegation and he resigned. Okay, so that there can be an inquiry. Okay, because as far as he is in the office, there cannot be any kind of prosecution. Okay, so he resigned so that there can be a trial. Okay, then in 2009 there was similar case. Andhra governor ND Tiwari was also he has also resigned on the health ground following an alleged sexual scandal which has happened in Raj Bhavan. Okay, so basically these are some examples which has happened earlier. Okay, and these are the provisions of Article 361. Okay. Now telling you that what is the case, like he is completely immune or not. So as I told you, in the criminal cases he is completely immune till he is in the office. Okay. In the civil offences there are you can go for the proceedings with a notice period of nearly 2 months. Okay, you have to give a notice prior to 2 months, and then afterwards you can go for the initiation of the complaint. Now what is the case when something like this has happened, and what can be done against them? Then there is this Article 61. Okay, Article 61 is basically the proceedings of the removal, or you can say impeachment procedure for the president. Okay, so that can be done, but that is a far-fetched reality because obviously impeachment has a very tedious process. Okay, now coming here, there are certain things which I have mentioned over here. So let's say the president or the governor are not personally answerable to any court for the exercise of the performance of their powers in the office while they are in office. This is basically talking about Article 361. Okay, so please remember this article, that can be important for your police point of view. No criminal proceedings can be started or continued against the president or the governor of the state in any court during the term of office. Then no court can issue arrest warrant for the president as well as the governor. These are certain things which are restriction on the, you can say these are the example of the immunity which is been provided. Okay. Now civil proceedings against a governor or president against things done by him in his personal capacity can be done only with a prior 2 months notice. Okay, if he has done something in the civil matters and this is something in the personal capacity, in that case there can be a notice of 2 months. But it does not mean that a conduct of those two office holders cannot be checked. Okay, now since they have the complete immunity in the criminal matters, it doesn't mean that they can do anything they want. Okay, there is this Article 361 which is making it clear that the conduct of the president may be brought under the review by the court, tribunal or body appointed or the designated by the either house of the parliament. Okay, for the investigation investigation of a charge under Article 61. Okay, now they are saying that this can be done, the proceedings can be done, there can be a trial, there can be trial by a court or review by a court or tribunal or a body which has been appointed by the either house of the parliament. Okay, under Article 61. Okay, and again Article 61 is related to basically your impeachment proceedings. Okay, so I hope this is clear. There are two articles which you have to remember. One is Article 61, second is Article 361. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now we can move further. Now we can move further. That is basically your next article, which is related to CBI not under center's control. We can't supervise the probe. Okay, that is what government has said to the Supreme Court. Now, state government of West Bengal, they have come to the Supreme Court. They have said that there are certain incidences wherein CBI is still investigating, whereas we have taken away the general consent. When we are talking about the working of CBI, CBI is a body which is working under statute. Okay, that is Delhi Establishment of Police Act, something like that. That is there, under which CBI has this as a executive body. It has been established under that particular statute. We will talk about that. But to CBI to go and probe inside a state, okay, there is a particular permission which is required. That is, there are two types. One is your general consent, okay, and second is your, you can say, on the case by case, every case you have to take a consent. Okay, so CBI has to take consent from the state if they are going to probe in that particular state. Any kind of investigation if they are doing in that particular state, they have to take a prior permission from the state, or you can say prior consent from the state. Okay, now that consent can be given on the case by case basis. Like for every case you have to take a permission and then you can go and investigate. Otherwise, there is a general consent that a state can give a general consent to CBI, and now CBI can go and investigate whenever they need to do. Okay, so West Bengal government has given this general consent earlier, okay, but recently they have withdrawn it. When they withdraw it, so afterwards also CBI is actually going and investigating over there, and that is why they have come to the Supreme Court. And in the Supreme Court, government, the central government is saying, basically their allegation is that central government is not actually sending them again and again into the state of West Bengal. And here the central government says that we do not have any control over the CBI, because CBI is not a body in the central government. It is an independent investigation body. Okay, so we are not the one who is influencing the, you can say, investigation. Okay, so that was the case which has come in front of us. So we will talk about it and we will see what are the, you can say, some important basic things which are related to CBI which can be important for you. Okay, now coming to here the article, the center on the Thursday told the Supreme Court that CBI is not under its control and the Department of the Personnel and Training. Okay, so basically this is the department which is dealing with the CBI, but again that is only for the cadre allotment and not for the working of the CBI. Okay, so CBI is not under the control and of the Department of the Personnel and the Training. It does not exercise any functional control over the CBI as far as the investigation of the case is concerned. They said that we are only responsible of the cadre allocation, and afterwards we are not indulging in the probe of the cases or the investigation of the cases. Then suit filed by the West Bengal governor against the agency continuing to register and investigate case in the state after November 16, 2018, despite the government withdrawing the general consent to it. Now West Bengal government is saying that they have withdrawn the consent in 2018, and since then also they are registering the cases as well as getting the cases without the consent. Okay, as per the allocation of business rules of the union government, the allocation is merely, when we are talking about CBI falls under the DOPT, is wholly irrelevant as the department does not exercise any functional control over the CBI as far as the investigation is concerned. Okay, because it is only responsible for the allocation is the, merely as a cadre controlling authority. Okay, and the same does not have in any manner make the CBI a part of legal person of the DOPT or the Union of India. They are saying that in simple words, you can say that CBI is not part of the union government, or it is not a department under the union government, or you can say that union government cannot actually influence the you can say investigation, because it is not a body under them. It is just a job of DOPT to go for the cadre allocation. That's all. Okay, the CBI cannot be considered a part or the department of the government of India, as it is a statutory body under Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Okay, now this body is a statutory body which has been made, or you can say came into picture under Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Okay, now coming to the next part, CBI is an independent legal person and has a separate legal identity outside Union of India. So they are saying that the Union of India, or you can say the central government, is different from the CBI. They are not linked to each other. Okay, CBI is an independent body and that has been established in the court of law. Even Supreme Court has said the similar things. Okay, here they are saying the same. In fact, his product of the judgment of the Supreme Court, wherein the CBI was vested with a separate legal and the functional identity. Okay, so that is what the article is all about. Let's talk about the CBI per se. Okay, Central Bureau of Investigation is the premier investigation police agency in India. CBI is not actually, CBI is a statutory body. Sorry, CBI is a statutory body which is established under Delhi Special Power Police Establishment Act. Okay, someone can say that it is not a statutory body, it is an body which has been established under an executive action which has been deriving power from this particular act. But again, this is an act and from which it is deriving a power, so it can be a, you can say, statutory body. So it is a statutory body but it derives power from the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. I will go into details and check once again that what is the legal status of CBI, and afterwards that I'll let you know. The establishment of the CBI was recommended by the Santhanam committee. Now this becomes important. Okay, this is for the prevention of corruption. Okay, so in 1962 to 64 there was this committee, and Santhanam committee has said that for the prevention of the, you can say, corruption, there should be an investigation body, and that is basically a CBI. Now it provides assistance to the Central Vigilance Commission, okay, and Lokpal. Now these two bodies are also related to corruptions only. Okay, so that is why this is providing assistance to the investigation under the complaints which are filed in the Central Vigilance Commission or the Lokpal. Okay, it functions under the superintendence of the Department of Personnel, Ministry of Personnel, Pension and the Public Grievances, Government of India, which falls under the Prime Minister's office. Okay, again it is working under the superintendence of it. Okay, and there is a cadre allocation which is done by this particular thing, but as a matter of fact it is an independent body. Okay, and not influenced by the decision of the ministry. Okay, however, for investigation of the offence under the Prevention of Corruption Act, it is its superintendence vests with the Central Vigilance Commission. So basically when we are talking about the investigations, so they are to report to the CVC. Okay, it is also a nodal police agency in India, nodal police agency in India, which coordinates with the investigation on the behalf of Interpol. Okay, Interpol member countries. Okay, so when we are talking about an international issue wherein Interpol is basically investigating, so this is the nodal agency which will collaborate with them and go for the investigation. Okay, I hope this is clear. Chaliye, next, in 100 days, in a 100-day plan, Agri Ministry plans new center body for the farm policy. Now recently we have heard about the exports in the agriculture. We have seen that there was some decline in the exports, and we are trying to boost the exports again, and then that is why we are focusing on the agri exports. Then obviously if you are trying to go for the exports, then you have to go for the production as well. Okay, and that is why we have come up with the idea that after the elections there are chances that there will be a new central body. Okay, and on the line of the GST Council, when we are talking about the GST Council, on the lines of GST Council, what I mean is that it will be a federal body. Okay, federal body means that there will be a representation of both center and the states. Okay, so representation from the states will be there, and central government will always be present over there. Okay, so that body is National Council for Agriculture and Rural Transformation, that is NCARTA. Okay, you can remember it quite well because for your preparation, NCERTs are quite important. So this is basically NCART, that is National Council for Agriculture and the Rural Transformation. Okay, now this will be an overarching federal body and devise policy and the programs for the agri sector. Okay, now there is this meeting. In this particular meeting it was said that the Ministry of Agriculture and the Farmer Welfare, as part of its 100-day action plan, they will be coming up with a new body, that is NCART, to drive its coordinated actions in the agriculture sector. The federal body for the agriculture and the rural transformation may be set up on the lines of the GST Council, Goods and Services Tax Council, which is having a representation from the both center and the state. While GST Council is a constitutional body, the status of this particular body is not clear because when we are going for the establishment of this particular body, there can be a legislation, there can be an executive order on which this body will be established. So we will see afterwards when this body is coming into the picture, then we will see what is the constitutional status, or you can say legal status of this body. Either it is a constitutional body or it will be made by the statute. That is altogether a different thing. We will keep a track on that. But as of now, when we are talking about the GST Council, it is a constitutional body. You know that 101 Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, under which there was this GST Council which was made. So when we are talking about this particular body, we will see what kind of body it will be. Agriculture is a state subject. Now this is quite important for you, because UPSC has tendency to ask these questions, that this particular subject agriculture belongs to which you can say list. Okay, so we know that in our schedule 7 we have 3 lists. Okay, one is your union list, second is your state list, and then third is your concurrent list. Okay, when we are talking about the union list, you know the union government has all the power to go for the making of laws. And then when we are talking about the state list, there are state government which has the power. And when we are talking about the concurrent list, both can make a law, but union's law will prevail. Okay, so in this particular you can say, when we are talking about agriculture, agriculture is in the state list, that is list 2 and entry 14. So you can remember this, list 2 and entry 14. Okay, and other than that, there are these budgetary allocations which are done by the central government. There are various schemes which are also been established by the central government, like you have Pradhan Mantri Krishi Samman Nidhi, you have Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, and we are the government has promised to launch a Krishi infrastructure mission for the integrated planning and the coordinated implementation of the agri infrastructure projects. Okay, so these things you can remember. You can go and check about these 2 schemes which are there: Pradhan Mantri Krishi Samman Nidhi, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Other than that, there is this Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. All these things you can go through it. Other than that, there are some you can say insurance related you can say schemes are there. Okay, when we are talking about the budgetary allowances, so it has been increased for nearly like 5 times since the NDA government has taken over. Okay, from 2013-14 it was nearly 27,000 crores, and recently it was 1,25,000 crores. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so remember that there is a new body which has been talked about. Okay, and second thing is, this particular paragraph is important, that it is a you can say state entry, you can say state list entry under under schedule 7. Okay, now Mpox. Now you don't have to go into much details of it. Just know that when we are talking about this Mpox, it is one kind of you can say variant of your monkeypox. Okay, so let's see. The Democratic Republic of Congo (DRC) is struggling to contain its biggest Mpox outbreak. A new form has been detected in the mining town, and it is easily spread among the people. Now, when we are talking about the spread, it is easily spread, so it is kind of contagious than the previous version. And when we are talking about the number of fatalities or the death, so deaths are a little bit you can say not very much when compared to the last variant. Okay, now here you can say that since January DRC, that is Democratic Republic of Congo, or you can say Congo, more than 4,500 suspected Mpox cases are there, and nearly 300 deaths has been there, roughly tripled from the same period last year. Okay, since the contagious activities are far more than the previous variant, and that is why relative to deaths are like 300. Okay, now it has been declared as an outbreak across the country as the health emergency. Now that is why Congo becomes important, because in Congo there has been this health emergency which has been imposed because of this Mpox. Okay, so they can ask you, that is why Congo becomes important for you. Go through it, go to nearby areas as well. Okay, now new phase of Mpox, as I told you, the recent genetic mutation in Mpox are the result of the continuous transmission from humans. Okay, when we are talking about this particular virus, okay, so that is basically having a reservoir in the animals, but recently they have seen that the new variant has come not from the animals, it is from the human transmissions. Okay, where viruses has this tendency go for the mutation, they go for the continuous changes so that they can survive, and that is why they have gone for the new mutation that has been resulting into this particular disease. Okay, the lesions, okay, these you can say these spots which are there. Okay, so lesions reported by the most patients are milder on the these are milder in this particular infection. These are you can say milder than the previous ones, and they are mostly found around the areas of your genitals. Okay, so and because of which it is not very easy to detect them, because in the earlier model you can say variant, what happened was these lesions were visible on the chest, hands, etc. Okay, but now this is kind of mild in nature and they are visible around the genital area. Now that is why it is hard to detect them. Okay, and that is why this spread is also there. When we are talking about this has something to do with your genitals, and the infected areas are mostly your genitals, so there are most people are infected via sex. Okay, so it is, you can say, a sexually transmitted virus over here. Okay, 1/3 of the mpox cases found are found in the sex workers. Okay. Now, what is the looming dangers? The new version of the disease might require a new testing strategy to pick up the mutations. Okay, so we have to find out what particular, you can say, gene has mutated, and accordingly we can go for the, you know, changes which has to made. And when we are talking about this particular mpox, there is a vaccine, but the thing is, in Congo it is not available. They are trying to go for the, you can say, import from the Japan, etc., but as of now it is not there. Okay, so that is about this particular, you can say, mpox. This much is enough for your prelims point of view. Okay, they will not ask you in this in mains, etc., but just know that what is mpox. It is a version of your monkeypox. Okay, now moving further, from the around the world, there are certain things we will discuss. Okay, Turkey holds trade with Israel. Tel Aviv says it's breaking the agreements. Okay, Turkey's president Erdogan was breaking agreements by blocking the ports for the Israeli imports and the exports. Okay, now Turkey is basically blocking the ports. Okay, and, for the trade, these ports are important for Israel, and but they are not giving access to the Israel, okay, because of the issue which is going on over there. This is how a dictator behaves, disregarding the interest of the Turkish people and the businessmen, and ignoring the international trade agreement. Okay, whatever trade agreement they have with each other, and they are ignoring it to create alternatives for trade with Turkey, focusing on the local production and the import from the other countries. So when we are talking about the trade, or you can say the local production, which is for the export, and then for the import, which Israel is asking for the import, so that will have some kind of implications on that. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now next part is, so that is why I would say that Israel would be important for you, Turkey would be important for you, these ports of the Turkey, that can be important for you. Okay, so please keep a note on that. Then Russian oil in mind, Taliban plan regional energy trade hub. Okay, now a few days back we have talked about tourism in Afghanistan. Okay, because Taliban is controlling the Afghanistan right now, and when we are talking about the economy over there, so economy is not doing very well, so they are going for the diversification. And now when we are talking about the Afghanistan, they don't have much of the options, or the, you can say, for the revival of the economy. So what they are doing is they are providing this logistical services. They are saying that from this particular route, there the Russian oil is there, which has to be transported to parts of Asia, and they can act as a logistical service provider, or you can say they can create an infrastructure for carrying this oil from this particular area to Asia. Okay, so that is why it becomes important. They are planning to go for an infrastructure project here. The Taliban has agreed with the Kazakhstan and the Turkmenistan. Okay, so I would suggest that this particular thing would be important for you. That is, Taliban has agreed with the Kazakhstan and the Turkmenistan to build a logistic hub in the western Afghanistan, aimed at marking the war-torn nation a major logistic point for the regional exports, including oil from the Russia in the South Asia. Okay, so now please remember that Afghanistan, along with the Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, they are going for the, you can say, logistic infrastructure creation in the western Afghanistan. Okay, the technical teams would draw up a written agreement within the 2 months on the formal plans for the hub. All three countries would invest in after 6 months of the talks. Okay, so all these three countries will invest over here as a foreign aid. As I told you in the previous lecture where we were talking about the tourism, the foreign aid for Afghanistan from the western countries has stopped recently. Okay, that has fallen. The agriculture economy is made by the drought. Okay, this is a very harsh area where agriculture is quite difficult, and because of the droughts which are prevalent in this particular area, that becomes even more impossible for it. Okay, how to fund development and the avoid economic stagnation, then that is why they are going for the diversification. Okay, now Aziz said that the new hub was part of the broader effect to take advantage of Afghanistan's strategic location, once a thoroughfare for the ancient Silk route. Or when we are talking about the modern or the medieval India, we must have talked about this ancient Silk route or trade route. Okay, in the ancient India there was this Silk route. Okay, so now they are trying to revive, or you can say, because they are on the strategic location, all the trade was earlier done by this particular area. Okay, so that is why that becomes important for you. Okay, So the trade between the South and the Central Asia, all these will be, you can say, having sharing border with the China, Iran. So that is why it becomes important for this particular, or you can say location of this particular area becomes important for it. So that is about it. Okay, so you can go through this. That is about your this infrastructure project in Afghanistan. Okay, now xenophobia hobbling the growth of China, Japan and India. The USA are saying that in these countries like China, Japan and India, they are skeptical about taking migrants. Okay, so because of this immigrations, USA's economy is flourishing. That is what Biden has said. Okay, and India did not respond to it because obviously there are elections, so that is why there are chances that this statement has been made. Recently there was this US CIRF report, that is in 2024, that criticized India for alleged violation of the religious freedom and the certain other issues. But in that particular regard, in that particular report, we have actually criticized the report to be biased. Okay, so that is about this particular thing. Why this statement was made, that is why I talked about it. Now for our own read, there is this particular article, how to decide domestic violence damages in India. So this will be discussed in focus program. So if you can go and read about this article, and if you have any kind of doubt, you can go and watch in focus program. Okay, so with that we will move to the last part of our day, that is your practice question. Civil proceedings against the president or the governor for action done in their personal capacity requires a prior approval from the Prime Minister, a notice period of 1 month, a notice period of 2 months, and approval from the Supreme Court. Okay, so I have talked about it. You can attempt this question, answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to wrap up this session. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.